Welcome to my world, where you will experience an atmosphere of love, relevant subjects, and motivation. So let's talk about things that matter. What matters to you matters to me. Well, hello there. How are you doing? You're watching the Brother Henry and You show. I am so excited that you've taken this opportunity to watch, and I have a powerful series that I want to come and share with you today that I really feel is going to help you heal in those areas where you need healing. And some of you probably are not even aware of the areas in your life where you may need healing the most. Hey, I get it. It's a journey. We've all been wounded. We've all had to experience some form of pain or hurt, and sometimes we don't know how to deal with that. Sometimes we don't know how to process the hurt that we've experienced. So for the next 4 weeks, I'll be coming to you talking about a series called The Art of Healing. How many know that healing is artistic? It's almost like a painting, but it's all what you make of it. You have a decision. You have a choice. I can either stay in my pain and what happened to me, or I can look for creative ways to heal. And hopefully these messages that I'll be presenting to you for the next several weeks will be somewhat therapeutic to you and will help you on your healing journey. I am so happy to be able to share with you this powerful series on the art of healing. I feel that it's not only important to identify the pain that we've experienced, but also looking for not only ways, but creative ways to heal. Again, as I just said, all of us have experienced pain. And it's true, we all have a choice to remain in the pain that we've experienced, or we can look for ways to heal. I don't know anyone that have experienced pain. I'll just use this for an example. That have experienced pain and they say, "Oh, I love this pain." Or I don't know anyone who have experienced a wound. Let's say you have a wound on your arm. Maybe you got bit by a spider. Let's use that for an example. Let's say you got bit by a spider, and you know the spider was poisonous, and you just let it stay there. You didn't go to the hospital. You didn't go to a doctor. I don't know anyone that would just be okay knowing that this spider had caused damage to you, and you're not going to go get the necessary treatment that you need. It's all about a choice. Even to be healed of something is a choice. So I believe deeply in my heart that no one is exempt from pain. No matter who you are, no matter where you live, no matter where you come from, no one is exempt from pain. If you are a human being and you live on this earth, you will experience pain one time or another in your life. And if you're that person that's watching and you say, "Well, Henry, I haven't experienced that pain yet," my friend, keep on living, because surely as I'm talking to you today, it will come eventually knocking at your door. So it'd be nice to be free from it. But no matter how you try to hide from it or avoid it, it will find its way to you, whether it's initiated through a spouse or a friendship or a connection or even a person. You will experience pain. Now I understand that to some of you this is not good news, because oftentimes we try to hide from or avoid the very thing that have hurt us, or the thing that initiated the pain in your life. But there is a way of looking at your pain as a lesson. What lessons can we learn from the pain that we've experienced? Number one, what did I learn from this pain? The pain that you've experienced in your life, the pain the hurt, the devastation, the difficult circumstances that you may be currently going through right now, have you ever looked at that and said, what did I learn from that? What lessons can I take away from the pain that I've experienced? If not, you should try it. I have. Number 2, what can I do to ease the pain? Anyone that has went through a painful situation, they're always looking for a way of coping with that pain or minimizing or easing the pain. Number 3, and I find this to be very comforting, no pain lasts forever. Sometimes you go through a painful circumstances or situations, and sometimes we can convince ourselves that it's going to always be like this. Have you ever felt that way? I have. It's going to always be like this. Nothing is going to change. I keep finding myself being hurt. I keep finding myself in painful situations. It's almost like a cycle. Well, my friend, the pain that you're experiencing and going through right now in your life is just a temporary thing. It won't always be like that. I know you feel that way, and I sympathize with you. I've been there. I know what it's like to go through painful situations. I know what it's like to experience heartbreak. I know what it's like to lose things. I know what it's like to go through a divorce. I can go on and on and on with you. I can relate to how you feel, that you feel like that this is a never-ending roller coaster ride. Isn't that kind of symbolic to life? You're on that roller coaster. It seems like it's never going to end. If it ain't one thing, it's another. I know I'm talking to someone right now that you've experienced that. And I hope you find that comforting, that the pain that you may be experiencing won't last forever. Consider childbirth. I believe that childbirth can be so symbolic to life. Do you? There are bad cramps. There are back pains. There are headaches. And this doesn't even begin to scratch the surface of the pain that a woman experiences when she endures or giving birth to a child. Life in some ways are just like that, full of cramps, discomfort, and misery, but I believe it's what you make out of it. Since we're using the illustration of childbirth, have you ever considered this, that in the midst of all that pain, the back pain, the cramps, and the headaches, and all the things that comes with giving birth to a child, the beautiful thing is that what comes out of that, and what comes out of that? A beautiful baby. But that woman had to go through that pain in order to birth something great. Can we look at this symbolic to life? That we're going through the cramps and the pain of life, the trials of life, but you got to keep on pushing. And you keep pushing and pushing and staying persistent and never give up. Something beautiful could come out of your situation. So honesty, I believe, is the pathway towards healing. Now this is very important. I need you to really pay attention to me. Honesty is the best policy on the pathway towards healing. But this will require you to, first of all, identify the hurt that you're dealing with. And in order to identify the pain, you must be aware that there is pain. Because whatever happened to you will determine what measures of healing you need to take. It's not enough to say, oh, I went through a painful situation, or I went through a hurtful situation, or I've been through this, or been through that. That's great. But it's also important to label that and call that out. What type of pain did you experience? Because like I said, the pain that you've experienced will determine what steps you need to take to receive healing. We're going to talk a little bit about that here in a few seconds. So I know many of you asking, well, Henry, this sounds great, but how does one identify the pain? How do we discover that? Well, there are many ways, but I think one way is to recognize the pain. What does that mean? That means that you are aware that pain is present. But even that alone is not enough. It's one thing to acknowledge that there is pain, but it is also vitally important to address the pain that you are experiencing. Let me give you an example. You can say, I'm hurting, but what kind of hurt? You can say, I'm in pain, but what kind of pain? And I'm not talking about physical pain, like backache, sore throat, or whatnot, stomach ache. I'm talking about psychological pain, mental pain. This has a lot to do psychologically with you, your mind, the way you think, yourself, your being. This journey won't be easy. We must confront what we are unwilling to talk about. Wow, think about that. We must confront what we are unwilling, many of us, some of us, unwilling to talk about. Because oftentimes we don't want to confront the thing that hurts us. As I said earlier in the broadcast, we want to avoid the very thing that has hurt us and caused pain when we need to confront that. That starts by being honest with yourself. What? You're in pain? What kind of pain? You're hurting? What kind of hurting? Nobody, let me say this, you can't even help yourself if you are not aware of the pain that you're experiencing. And secondly, nobody else can help you if they're not aware of the pain that you are experiencing. That's why it's important to identify the pain. You're aware that it's present, it's there, but also you need to know what hurts you. What pain did you experience? No matter what hurt that may be. That may be betrayal. Maybe you've been lied to. Maybe it's an affair or sickness. You must confront that pain head on. Now, this is very powerful. Your how will be the key to your healing. Your how will be the key to your healing. It could be very difficult to even talk about pain because oftentimes it reminds us of the thing that we have experienced. But to not address it can even be such a bigger problem. Here's the reoccurring problem that I see in a lot of people, and I've been there myself. And I'm still learning how to be honest with my feelings and being honest with the pain I've experienced. So this is not an attack against anyone. I'm going through this very thing. Many of us have went through this. But this is a reoccurring problem that I see among a lot of people. We have become experts in bearing our pain. We have. We become experts, professionals in bearing our pain. I sometimes wonder, why do we do that? Why did I do that at one time? Why do we hide the area where we need help the most? Anytime you bear your pain, or anytime I bear in my pain, I hate to tell you this, but it only gets worse. Anytime you hide it, anytime you avoid it, anytime you bury it, it never heals. What you cover up never heals. What you hide never heals. The pain that's in your heart, I'm talking about the inside of you, the internal pain that's in your heart that you've experienced, to bury it, it will never heal. It's time for you to expose it. Bring it out to the open. That's the only way you can help yourself, and that's the only way that others can help you. Pain is a part of us we often keep to ourselves. It's like a house. the pain is inside of that house, and we got that house locked up, and nobody else can get into that area. It's our safe place. It's time to let somebody in. We hide it, but we cannot bury it. We must expose it. William Paul Young, many of you know him. He's been on my show a couple of times, but he said a quote not too long ago that was very profound. He says, "The unexposed is the unhealed." Can I say it again? The unexposed is the unhealed. Do you know what that means? That means that what you don't expose will never get healed. Whether that's hurt that you've experienced in your childhood, whether that's you not being able to get over your divorce, no matter what the case is, to hide it and bury it and pretend like it's not there is not realistic. So today, we need to acknowledge the pain. It may be a rough task, but you will not regret it in the end. There is hope no matter what pain you have experienced. It starts by being real with yourself. Being honest with yourself. Looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I'm in pain. And not only am I in pain, I know the pain that I'm going through. Even though I may not want to confront it, even though I want to pretend like it's not there, I may even hide it. I may not want to discuss it or talk about it. And we have our reasons why we do that. I had my reasons when I did that. Again, I still struggle with this at times, opening up about my pain, opening up about how I feel about myself. And then one thing I've learned, that burying that pain is still there. And that's the reality of it. You can bury it, you can hide it, but eventually it's going to come out. Liberate yourself today. Free yourself today. How do we do that? By identifying the pain that you experience. That honesty, remember, honesty is the pathway to healing. You can never heal until you expose the areas that's tormenting you internally, on the inside. The areas that you don't want to talk about, the areas you don't want to discuss, find somebody to open up to. And I know it's hard to find, because there's a lot of mistrust. Especially if you've been hurt so many times, you don't know who to go to, who to talk to. Find someone to share and expose that pain. Bring it out on the table. I promise you, you'll feel a whole lot better. Did you enjoy that? I did. Would you join me next week for part 2? We're going to continue our series, The Art of Healing. And we're going to talk about, am I truly healed or healing? Now, if you think both of those words are the same, they're really not. Want to know the difference? Tune in next week, and maybe you'll be able to discover if you're truly healed of something, or maybe you're just in the process of healing from that pain.
Hi, if you like what you've seen today, be sure to connect with Brother Henry at www.facebook.com/The Brother Henry and You Show. And also be sure to check out and subscribe to his YouTube channel, which is www.youtube.com/Henry Harris 100. We hope that this has been a blessing to you, and we hope to hear from you soon. Keep watching, because what matters to you matters to Brother Henry.